He's one of the top players in college football, if not the best player in college football, Brock Bowers. And Nick Saban knows it. Here's what Nick had to say about Brock Bowers. He said he's one of the premier players in college football. I know everybody talks about all the passes that he catches, but he's a good blocker. He does a good job of executing whatever he needs for his teammates to have success. What did Brock Bowers do that this was after the SEC championship game where Nick saw Brock Bowers catch the ball. I believe it was 10 times against Alabama. The next game, Bowers had a touchdown that essentially sealed the deal for Georgia from right outside the red zone for the Dogs to get a big lead against Alabama, and then of course I don't know how many plays later it was, but a few plays later, Keely Ringo for the win. And the thing we talk about over at Dawg Post is just how explosive, how problematic, etc. Brock Bowers is. And if you've not read the article at the site, I would encourage you to do so. He said, Nick goes on to say, Bowers has got wide receiver skills in every way, shape, or form, which makes it difficult being a bigger guy for bigger guys to cover him. And it makes it also difficult for smaller guys to cover him. On the play I'm talking about, where Bowers puts Georgia up 20, what would that have been? I can't remember. But it put him up 8. So Bowers, on that play, Henry Toa is supposed to go get him. And everybody for Alabama is within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage, okay? An amazing, I mean, like, it was third down. It was third and short, but it was third down. And Jack Pinesley had already kept Georgia in the game. I mean, Jack really played well in that national championship game. So it's third and very short. Georgia's run the ball down the field, except one play, which I think was the pass interference that Georgia had gotten on Bama. And it's third and short, very short. It's Rosemary Jack Saint is on the outside, I believe. And Stetson, it seemed like almost everybody from Alabama is coming. They're all within 4 yards. They're going to jam this thing up. Stetson throws it to the outside. It's Brock Bowers, and the next thing you know, he's in the end zone. It was an amazing play. It's one of those plays that, I think maybe it's gotten forgotten, but it shouldn't be. And that's one of the reasons why I've got Brock on the cover of the season preview, which is out today. That's there. I got 2 links down below for y'all. One is of the season preview, of which a lot of people really like and want to take advantage of. The other thing, and I'm going to talk about this a lot here in the coming days. If you buy the book, either a book right now, you're going to get the magazine for free. So up to you how you want to get the magazine. The only place you can get the magazine, there's only 2 places. One, right down below where the link is. Number 2, at Red Zone. That's it. It's not anywhere else. I don't think that will change. But go ahead and take advantage of this offer while you can. Last year I ran out of magazines, so I didn't, it just happened. So it was pretty popular a season ago. So make sure you're taking advantage of that with the link down below. And when you watch Brock, play, I mean, I know sometimes when I describe things this way, people want to disagree, but there's no like spectacular thing about Brock Bowers. He's not really big like Darnell Washington. He is pretty fast, I will say that. Um, he's a good blocker. He is a very good pass catcher for sure. I mean, the play against Florida alone in 2022 shows that. But it's the combination of everything that is not maybe completely spectacular, but really, really good. That's what makes him so hard to deal with. I mean, I think the one thing is the speed. I mean, just like for instance, just on this image right here, I'll get back to it real quick. that so Georgia certainly out personneled TCU. There's no scenario where that's not the case, okay, y'all. But like with Bowers, it's sort of even worse. I mean, he's that much faster sometimes than linebackers. And the problem with DBs is, as we've seen in the play that I'm talking about with the Alabama play in 2021, by the time he gets to them, he's built up enough speed to where he can just sort of run around or run past them. Of course, the thing about the play in the national championship game is that Brock Bowers got a great block from Marcus Rosemy Saint. I mean, it was. I want to make sure it was Marcus before I continue saying that. Yeah, it was Marcus Rosemy Saint. He got a hold of Khalid McKendry. It was too late. Like by the time that Brock got to McKendry, it was over. He was at the 12-yard line with some serious speed already built up in a matter of like 5 yards. I mean, he was he. We talk a lot about there's this discussion of jumbo athletes. There might not be a better jumbo athlete that we've seen lately in football than Brock Bowers. I mean, he has been exceptional at being a large, hard to deal with person. I mean, I'd be really surprised if he's not a top 15, top 20 player in the NFL draft next year. He plays a position that's not really, unbelievable in terms of draft value. But, I mean, just again, look at what he's doing, this poor guy on the screen. I mean, it is, and that guy's eating turf. He's going to be taking bits of AstroTurf out of his mouthpiece the next play. Well, I don't know if I don't think Georgia scored on this play, but in fact, I'm pretty certain they did not. But it just goes to show what this guy can do. He is an exceptional player. That's one thing we talk about. I talk about in the magazine is what it was like for him to be recruited by Georgia. Brock Bowers didn't play his senior year of high school football because in California that was in the spring. So North Carolina did that. California, North Carolina. There were a couple of other. It wasn't just a couple of states that did that because of COVID, and so Brock, um, didn't get to play his senior year because he had gone. The fall was canceled, and then by the time spring rolled around, he was at Georgia. So, if I'm not mistaken, so it really was a curious recruitment because there were a lot of guys. I updated the board. I wonder if y'all can actually see this. Let me see if I can get it up on the board. Oh, okay, yeah, I actually can. Amazing. All right, so the board has been updated, and if you look at everybody on there, I'm sorry it's not super great right now, but you've got Brock Bowers right there in that orange. Everybody that's in orange, so Smile Munden, Dumas Johnson, Chaz Chambliss, guys like that, Bullard, they were all, these were guys that were all recruited during COVID. Look at that chunk of guys, Amarius, Dylan Fairchild, etc. They were all COVID guys. And so they had an abnormal recruiting time. So Brock Bowers, what he would do is he would get out and challenge other players to work out. He would send his film in to the staff at Georgia, but they couldn't fly out to California and watch him play football. They went on very little information about Brock Bowers, frankly. I mean, he is a modern day Thomas Davis as far as all that stuff's concerned. I mean, Georgia came in very late with Thomas Davis. They didn't know a lot about him. So I know it was Van Gorder, but it might have been Mark Richt too. They go down and watch him play basketball. All of a sudden say, Coach, this guy is an athlete. Do it. Like, we got to sign this guy. Brock was an exceptional player for them, or has been, excuse me, an exceptional player for Georgia. And what has separated him from other people is the ability to do stuff like this. That was one of the most impressive catches I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, the miracle at Jordan Hare was one thing, but this was just like a not well thrown ball. I don't know if it was poorly thrown. It was not well thrown, and could have been picked. The linebacker did not make a good play on it, and it just sort of hovered in midair while Jedi Bowers yanked it in. He is an exceptional player. Anyway, I talk about that in the preview. If you get the book, it comes along with it. Make sure that you're signing up. It's right down below. Thanks for watching.